Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. It's me and my partner in crime, Abrar Aziz. We will be bringing you discussion with two big test matches coming up on Friday. So we'll be discussing that. We discussed the Women's World Cup, which is starting in a couple of hours, but today it'll be about India versus Sri Lanka and Pakistan versus Australia. Two big series. India Sri Lanka big in the sense that it's Virat Kohli's 100th Test match in India in transition. Pakistan Australia is big because Australia are going to Pakistan after 24 years. Even in between when India used to tour, Australia weren't touring at that time. So it's a big occasion for Pakistan cricket. I'm really happy for them. Hopefully everything goes smooth there. But yeah, let's start off with India versus Sri Lanka. Virat Kohli's 100th Test match. Done honestly in the beginning. There's no crowd. There's nothing. And then suddenly now, whether it's the BCCI or the broadcast, everything is centered on Virat Kohli. So I have a feeling that the broadcast would have spoken to the BCCI and said, "Listen, you need to allow crowd. You need to think we're going to build all this up on this man, and that's what we're going to do." So he's not captain. He's not scoring hundreds, but he's still the center of attention.
Rightly so, I mean, he's been the center of attention for too many years now, and it's just unfair that the attention just kind of goes away from him so quickly. So I'm glad that at least a few people are allowed. I know they're saying about 50% of capacity. So unfortunately, not full grounds, but it's a test match. It's his 100th test match. I'm glad that you're probably right about the broadcasters talking to the BCCI as well. What I think needs to be at focus needs to be the fact that his cricket and his bat does the talking. There's a lot of things being talked about. There's a lot of issues been happening, and I'm almost sounding like a broken record now with the kind of problems that he's faced, and the BCCI and the miscommunication or whatever. The best thing to do would be now to Sri Lanka is not a top side by any stretch of the imagination. Go out there. You have to remember, when Sachin Tendulkar scored his 100th century, also he scored it against Bangladesh. Sometimes you just need something to just get out of, like, gets one big innings to get out of the way, and hopefully this will be it. You sometimes you need a slightly smaller team, with due respect to Sri Lanka, to just get things rolling. I think he has 2-3 years of good cricket left in him. It just needs one big innings to just change his mindset, and I think after once that snaps, I think everything is going to be hunky dory for him for the next couple of years at least.
Yeah, I mean, he's really changed the face of Test cricket. I was watching plenty of interviews, reading a lot of articles, and people were saying, like, Virat Kohli is someone who, he kept that faith in Test cricket, and he was the one who was carrying the format forward. And now he's playing his 100 Test match. I don't, it's not many people get that opportunity to play 100 Test matches. Rohit Sharma, who's currently the captain and 1 year older, has played 40 Test matches, and he had a funny response to that in the press conference as well. But 100 Test matches is a big thing, and Virat Kohli is somebody who's played Test cricket with the passion, whether winning or lose. He played high risk cricket. Sometimes it turned out to be great, sometimes it didn't work out in his favor. But I think for me, he set that tone in Adelaide in 2013-14. I remember I was in college. I just finished my midterm exams in December. It was December holidays, which and that night I just stayed up and I just watched, and I realized the change of Indian cricket. That innings just changed Indian cricket, the way he played that. And they lost that match, but for me, that was the moment where Test cricket started. I fell in love with Test cricket fully. I think one was 2005 Ashes, and then that moment where he got it back, and the passion that he plays it with, whether it's in India or abroad. I got the opportunity to, along with your friends, I went and watched him in Hyderabad versus Bangladesh. Even in that match, he's telling the crowd, he's telling us, we got to see him. I got to see him score a 200 double hundred live, and I was very lucky to see that. As a batsman, he's been great. As a captain, I wish I was there in Lords recently when Siraj was it who got that wicket, just to see Virat
Yeah,
Kohli's
yeah.
reaction. So there's plenty of Virat Kohli moments we've seen in Test matches. I'm sure you have yours as well, and I think this is a big occasion. But I think now they're understanding it and they're making it like a huge moment now. Is the whole, and rightly so. I think he's gone through a tough time. It's good to keep someone happy like that. I just hope that it goes smooth sailing for India and Virat Kohli performs.
Absolutely. I think, every cricketer will have highs and lows in their career. And I think that he's had some immense highs. And of course, over the recent couple of years, some lows as well. So I think it's a good time to change the tide again. Sign off on a high. That's what I expect. That's what I want for the man. I think he deserves that kind of a glorious couple of years of another peak in his career before he can call it a day. over the period of 2-3 years more of cricket is what I think that he has left in him, at least, if not more. So I'm hoping that he can turn that tide. Even though he's not completely out of form, you have to remember that he has been scoring a few 50s here and there. But the man of Virat Kohli's caliber, you want that 71st century to come in at some point. Hopefully, this will be it's a perfect occasion. The platform is set, the stage is set, the focus is on him. Just go out there, score that century, just call it a day. Shut all the critics up and just be like, what, I'm back. That would be nice. It would be a nice statement to make at this point.
Yeah, 100%. It will be a good occasion, the perfect occasion in that sense, as a 100 test match. But I just wanted to touch upon both teams before we move on. Is India and Sri Lanka. India, you say that they're favorites. I think everyone is saying that, but they're a team in transition. This is the first time, I think, in so many years. I forgot how many matches, but this is the first time they're going to be playing without both Rahane and Pujara. So it's a big step for India. I don't know who you're going to see. I think the options are Gill, Vihari, and Iyer. I don't know who would you like to see from those three. And do you think also, just to add to that question, Rohit Sharma's captaincy, will he go with that five-pronged attack as well that we've seen Kohli do over the years?
I think so. I think he'll stick to the same kind of setup. I think that they'll go with those five bowlers and six batsmen kind of role that they've been following. Of course, number 7 will also give you a little bit with the bat, and Jadoo now being fit will help. And then obviously, then you have the 4 fast bowlers. You'll have KL and Rohit up top, who've I think almost cemented their place over there. KL is playing, right? KL is playing. Yeah, KL is playing. So. Or is KL rested? Do you know if KL is rested? I'm not. No, I don't think he is. Never mind. So I think the two spots. But I think Mayank Agarwal will take his spot even if KL Rahul is not playing. I think it's Mayank Agarwal. Right. I completely confused that part. So be Rohit and Mayank who will open. Yeah.
So it'll be Mayank Agarwal for sure. Most probably Sharma. And then who would you see at 3? Who would you pick for number 3?
I don't have anything against Shreyas Iyer. I think he's an excellent batsman, but I just feel like Vihari is that number 3 player right now. Like who can soak up the pressure. Number 3, very very important position for in Test cricket. I think Pujara did it for a long time, but I think he's obviously lost that bit of charm towards the like last few innings of his. And if you remember, there has to be one person that you can play around, and I think that Vihari can be that player. And I think Vihari should go in at that number 3 spot. You play in, and then you play Kohli at 4. And I think I want to get the youngsters in. I want to give Shubman Gill a chance. So I'd probably go with Gill at 4, at 5 in my personal opinion, and then play Punt at 6, and then go with the bowling unit from over there. Shreyas Iyer, I think it's a little bit harsh on him. I think. But at this point in time, I just want to.
I can tell you're not a
No. I mean, with due respect to
I'll tell you why. Like the thing is, with Shreyas Iyer, he's been in great form in the white ball.
Of course, I think he'll definitely make that cut.
And then his first Test match, he scored 100, right, on debut against New Zealand,
and 50 again in the second innings.
And 50 in South Africa, he was injured. I think he didn't play in the Test matches. And then whatever you saw one day, you weren't happy with that, and since then you were not happy with Shreyas Iyer. I think it's that Australia tour where he was given a few short balls. Since then, you've kind of not backed him. Look, honestly, in terms of form with Shreyas Iyer, I would personally like to see Shubman Gill. I just feel that I think he can develop into a class player. He scored a 90 in that famous Gabba Test match, and that was just a glimpse of his talent. He didn't make 100 there, but I think it's a glimpse of his talent. He had a poor series against England, then injury, unfortunately. But I would like to see a youngster like that backed as well. It'll be harsh on Iyer though to drop him. So Vihari also it'll be very harsh on Vihari as well. So maybe Shubman Gill.
I think if Vihari is dropped, I'll be more upset than if Gill is dropped, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I would also like to see Gill at 5, Vihari at 3, but I think just with the Shreyas Iyer's form, he'll probably get the go. And from Sri Lanka's point of view, I think there are a few players there, but for me it's Ambuldenia, because I discovered him last year, and against England he was picking up 5 wickets every odd game. Like in Sri Lanka, whenever there was a game there in the subcontinent, he was picking up 5 wickets. So he's someone I would like to see on these pitches. I'm sure there will be some assistance. I don't think India will prepare those full day one spinning tracks. I think it'll be a bit good to bat on, especially in Mohali. First couple of days, there might be a hint of grass, and then ease into. It'll turn, but like Rohit Sharma said in his press conference, but I think it might take a bit more time because Sri Lanka do have some spinners of their own. But historically, the likes of Murli Tharan, Herat, they haven't done really well in India. Maybe that's also to do with the likes of Tendulkar, Dravid, Ganguly, such good players of spin. But let's see how it goes from Sri Lanka's point of view. What are you looking forward to from Sri Lanka?
Yeah, I think I to be very honest, Sri Lanka is also a team in transition. I think their transition is even more deeper rooted than an Indian transition at this point. There are a couple issues in the Indian side, but with Sri Lanka, there's been there's been just too many things going on. But I feel like this is a side that's showing some potential now. I just want to see some consistency now. I think if they can really put up a fight, I still think that they will end up losing the series. But if they can put up a fight and try to win a few sessions here and there at least, that would be their first challenge, real challenge, and they are coming up against a quality Indian side, and it's a almost full strength Indian side. So, they'll if they win any sessions at least, I think they'll be extremely happy with the performance. I'm sure that the expectation is to go out and win test matches, but at this point in time, a realistic target for them would be to put up a real fight, and who knows, maybe in that if India really collapses at some point, take advantage of something like that.
Yeah, and the captain Karun Ratne, he's had some good innings in the past. I think Matthews might be in the squad as well. I think, if
Yeah,
I'm not
Angelo's
mistaken.
back.
So
Yes.
yeah, so that experience will help. He's someone big match player. I think that will help in these kind of conditions against an Indian squad. Who's also in slight transition. That will kind of help them. But Don, can you tell me Sri Lanka's 11 that you would like to see?
I think you're putting me on the spot intentionally here
I
right
wish
now.
I wish I put a straight face there, but my point there was not to put you on the spot. My point was that we grew up. If I asked you this question 15 years ago, you would go Ranatunga,
I
Karotana,
don't know.
Jayasuri. So I don't know. We're not expecting you to go, but unfortunately, that's what's happened with Sri Lankan cricket, and it's taken its toll. There are players that you will recognize that I know as well, but
Yeah,
we used to have the 11 at the top of the head because Sri Lanka used to be one of the best teams in the subcontinent and top four in the world at one point, whether it was test cricket or one day cricket. So when we were growing up, we transitioned from that Ranatunga phase to the Javadine phase. So we saw
yeah,
class Sri Lankan cricket. And I think we are the only
absolutely.
generation. Before that, when our dads used to watch Sri Lanka were not good enough, and now it's the same thing. So that
Same
golden generation
situation.
is different. So I'm not going to ask you about the 11, but I think you'll agree with me from the players like someone like Sri Lanka, someone like Nisanka. Sorry, he played well in the T20s. Someone
Some
like
really
him,
good
someone like a
players out
Karuna,
there. Yep, Karunaratne.
Angelo Matthews, and Goldini. I think with the ball, he might cause some problems. Interesting. Chamira, the fast bowler who bowled well in the T20s, he's not going to play the first test match. They're holding him back for the day night. So that will be
Yeah.
interesting. But your prediction for the series?
I think India will comfortably go on and win both the games. I think both the matches. I think they'll comfortably win. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting just to see the test matches. I just hope it'll be a good competitive game. I don't want games
I
to be
hope so.
finished in 2.5 days. Where
T20s were tough to watch, even though India won. That was a very tough series for me to watch. Like it was coming to a point where,
there there has to be something done about these bilateral series. I think that there is just too much
yeah.
of a waste of time and energy of resources of a side. With due respect to Sri Lanka, I think that there has to be a little bit more that goes on. These bilateral series have to be a little bit more challenging. Otherwise, people are going to stop watching it very soon, and that's not going to be good for them at all.
Yeah, 100%. And if we just move on to Pakistan versus Australia, anything that you're looking forward to and like you would like to ask me just going into the
I think
series?
I think for me most important I think is the fact that Pakistan is finally bringing in a top side to their home ground after a really long time. It's been a bit of turmoil for them. A lot of things have gone, and unfortunately last year when they were close on the morning of the test match, New Zealand decides to leave, and then England decides to cancel their series as well. So there's been a lot of issues. I really hope that they have a good series. I think good competitive cricket is played, good series over there. I think the Australian side is high on confidence at this point in time. Of course, there's been a little bit of a confusion about that Justin Langer situation, but I think that this is a chance to put that in the bag for Pakistan. I think it's just important for them to just do more of what they have been doing. I think the players in form, the likes of Babar, the likes of sorry, Babar's not really that much in form, but the likes of Rizwan, Shaheen Shah Afridi, these guys are all just kind of continue the way they have been playing. And I think that this is going to be a with due respect to India Sri Lanka, I think that this is the game that will be a little bit more interesting to watch, because there'll be a little bit more at stake over there, I think.
Yeah, and also I think the fact that Pakistan lost a couple of players to COVID, that's going to hamper them as well. And then Fahim Ashraf also getting injured. I think
Yeah.
he's a key because Cameron Green provides that balance for Australia. I think Fahim Ashraf was his kryptonite kind of in that sense in terms of squad balance. And without him being there, Pakistan might be either too batting heavy or bowling heavy, and hopefully that doesn't impact them. And yeah, I'll also want to see how the spinners work because I don't think there's any Shadab. Shadab is not there, so Yasir. Yasir is also not Yasir Shah is also not fully fit. So the spinners who come in, can they live up to that hype against Australia with Steve Smith? Steve Smith, he plays really well in the subcontinent, and it's going to be tough to get him out. But I think the fast bowlers might also have to put in the work as well in this series. The likes
Oh
of
yeah,
Shaheen and
absolutely, absolutely. I completely agree that the likes of Shaheen Shafri, they'll probably be he's on in the form of his life right now. He's swinging the ball both ways. He's doing a fantastic job. He's young, and I think he has the replication of. I was reading an interview. I think he has the attributes of an Imran Khan and the bowling style of Wasim Akram, which is a beautiful combination to kind of pick up. So it's fantastic to be at the age of 21, 22 to be touted as one of the next big things. Hopefully he can keep himself fit, no big injuries, and no other kind of issues that have crept into Pakistan cricket in the past. Just hopefully that all of that stays aside. I think he has the potential of playing about 10, 12 years of good cricket. I think he could be one of the all-time greats if he can continue doing what he's been doing. So I'm looking forward to how this Pakistan side kind of comes out, and I'm looking forward to that their left arm spinner. I can't remember his name again. I've been watching for him a lot. He hasn't been getting the chance.
Noman.
No man, yes, no man. I'm hoping that he gets a good run in this series, because some of the spinning options are they are a little bit lacking on spinning options. So let's see how that plays out. But I'm looking forward to overall this Pakistan side continuing to live up to their potential that they have shown over the past few months in the T20 World Cup. After that as well, the PSL, we've seen some good performances. So hopefully, all of that comes in, and they go out there again in Pakistan colors, and go out there and really challenge this Australian side. That's what I would want to see.
Yeah, 100%. And for you, the players to watch out for?
Davy Warner, I think it's important where he kind of, he's had a fantastic time against Pakistan. I believe like
Yeah.
500s and a 50 or something in his last 5-6 innings or
The
something like
triple
that.
hundred as well
So,
in
and a
2019.
triple hundred, yeah. They
Yeah.
haven't played Pakistan in a while, but what his last 5 innings have been fantastic. Manus Labuschagne, I think because he is
All right.
always he's always up for a challenge, and I think this in subcontinent Pakistan wickets will definitely be a challenge. So I'm looking forward to see how he
He
does.
gives a chance early in every innings that I've seen him, so I want to see if he gives a chance early here.
Yeah.
Not every, I'm over exaggerating, but he does give chances. But I think this will be his test because I've seen him perform really well in England and Australia. But I think this will be a completely different challenge. And he idolizes his game. His role model is Steve Smith. So if he can learn anything, he has that luxury to just tap on his shoulder and say, get that expertise on these subcontinent conditions. And I feel in Rawalpindi, it looks like, from what I saw, the pitches, it looks like a road right now. But let's see what happens on the day of the test match, which is a few hours away. There might be some grass, there might be turn as well. But right now, it looks like a flat track. So I don't know if it's going to affect, because if it does turn, then Nathan Lyon comes into it immediately. So Pakistan have to kind
Oh
of
yeah,
watch out
absolutely.
which way they want to go. And
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
yeah, like either
For me,
it's a
from
batting or
Pakistan
bowling.
point of view, I think I just from Pakistan's point of view, I just want to say, for me, most importantly, Mohammad Rizwan. I think he's been actually. You know what? I want to go with Babar. I want to see how he kind of performs
Yeah,
after
I think
what's
he'll
been an
perform now.
abysmal PSL for him.
PSL. Yeah,
Forgetful PSL. Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see how
For
that
me,
plays out.
yeah, for me, I think the players that I want to watch out for, one you already mentioned is Marnus Labuschagne, and of course Nathan Lyon. But from Pakistan side, Naseem Shah. I just want to see how he bowls.
Fast.
He wasn't going to be in the 11, I think, if the likes of Hassan Ali and Haris Rauf were fit. But I want to see that pace, and let's see. He made his debut in Australia against Australia. Let's see what he's learned from that, and can he challenge them in his own conditions? That will be a good battle to watch.
Absolutely. Looking forward to that one as well, for sure.
Predictions for that series?
Oh man, I think Australia will go and win that one. 2-1 to
2-1, huh?
Australia. Yeah.
2-1. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, like we always say. But right now, I'm just pipping Australia 51-49 just because of the players that Pakistan are missing. But that's not an excuse. You still have to go out there and fight it out. And they're playing in their home conditions, and I think they will give Australia a good fight. And they do have some class players, and it's time to shine against the likes of Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark, whatever conditions you play in. If you win a series against Australia, your name will be there, and especially it'll G up that Pakistan crowd. And I just wanted to end with saying that I think a full generation has not seen Pakistan Test cricket, right? So, hopefully those guys can now watch their guys play in Pakistan and get some heroes as well.
Yeah, and most importantly, I just want the series to go function through smoothly without any kind of hiccups. Hopefully,
Yeah,
they have a good series and good competitive cricket. Hopefully, but more than anything, even if it's like a one-sided series, I just want the series to finish because I just want for Pakistan, that's the most important thing for them to complete a good series of Test cricket and hopefully they can get that going with this series now.
100%. And last question, if you have time, you can take 1 hour to answer this or 1 second. Is Virat Kohli scoring 100 in this Test match?
Yes, bro. If I jinxed him again, then I'm
You've tried
sorry.
all the methods. You've
But
tried all
I've
the
I've
methods.
tried almost everything. I'm gonna go pray Dora Rakat Nafal Namaz also for him now for sure. I think so. Hopefully he scores a century.
All right, man. Enjoy the games. They'll be starting in a few hours. We have the World Cup in a couple of hours, and then we have the Test matches in 3-4 hours. So enjoy the games, and I'll catch you soon. And
Of course.
take care. And thank you so much for joining me. It was a really good talk.
Yeah, absolutely, as always.
Thank you, man.